Inspired by the life of the savvy and ambitious Colombian businesswoman Griselda Blanco comes a new Netflix original limited series. Griselda tells the story of a devoted mother who, with her lethal blend of charm and relentless savagery, creates one of the most powerful cartels in history. Witness Sofia Vergara's captivating transformation into the godmother of the underworld. Griselda, now streaming only on Netflix.
I'm Mo Rocca, and I'm excited to announce Season 4 of my podcast, Mobituaries. I've got a whole new bunch of stories to share with you about the most fascinating people and things who are no longer with us. From famous figures who died on the very same day, to the things I wish would die, like buffets. All that and much more. Listen to Mobituaries with Mo Rocca wherever you get your podcasts.
Bernigan, 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 ABC.
Welcome to the Bare Naked ABCs, where we discuss every song from 7 to Y. As some of you may know, I just got back from a cruise, but I seem to have left Aaron behind in the Caribbean. Jeff, have you seen my Aaron? Have you seen my Aaron?
I have not. I have not seen your Aaron.
Have you seen my musical friend? Have you seen my Aaron?
I haven't.
Well, anyways, we have Jeff with us tonight.
Hey, everyone.
And this week we'll be talking about the 90s rock rap cover, Have You Seen Her by MC Hammer. Now, I actually own the MC Hammer Don't Hurt 'Em album, and I love this song. It's a cover of the Chi-Light song, and which was interesting enough.
Tracy. We're talking about the Bare Naked Lady song. Have you seen my love?
Oh, shit.
Everything for everybody?
Wrong podcast. Which one are we recording tonight?
We're doing the Bare Naked Ladies podcast tonight. The Hammer one is tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Wait, which song are we doing?
I believe we're doing Have You Seen My Love tonight.
Oh, well, that would be where I got confused.
Sure. I think so.
All right. Well, so the one that Paige and Ed wrote together.
That one.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
yeah.
that one.
From Everything to Everyone, 2003?
Yeah.
Okay,
yes,
I found the right
Yes,
note.
that would be the correct one. Yes.
All right. Well.
By the way, for anyone curious, the ABBA podcast is on Thursday. Just so you're. We do a podcast every night here.
If you haven't heard this song already, while I'm gathering my notes back together here, here's a quick snippet of the song.
Have you seen my love? Have you seen my love? Have you seen my little girl? Oh, have you seen my love?
Now on the bonus disc, so this disc actually came with a special bonus disc, and Jeff, you could probably see it. The audience cannot. Where it actually came with a disc, which is missing right now because it's in my DVD player, called Everything Else. It was a DVD.
That was the one I had. I had that one, yeah.
You did? Now,
I did. I had the DVD, yes.
Did you have it with a sleeve that showed on the white flag the name of the album?
I did. Same copy. Yes.
See, I went and I bought it used because I didn't buy the full digital one the full album the first time, the deluxe one. And when the person sold it back to Bull Moose, they didn't sell the sleeve, so I'm without the sleeve. I have just the white flag.
Oh, okay. All right.
But that's okay, because I have the discs, and that's the important part. There are some really great things on that disc. I don't know if you've watched it in a while. I spent the last 3 nights watching it.
No, it's been a while since I've seen it, but yeah, I loved watching the disc.
They have a show on that disc. They have a song. They have an option to watch the song list choosing process. So the process they went through to decide which songs would be on and which ones would be left off. I'll get into more of that in another time. But the reason I'm bringing it up today is they talked about the song called, quote unquote, I Don't Remember. Right. I had to say quote unquote there because otherwise people would be like, well, you just told me you remembered. You're telling me about the song. No, it's called I Don't Remember. And at first I actually mistakenly thought that Steve was saying that he didn't remember the song name. But no, he interrupts him. Someone interrupts him, and then he returns to saying, so the list is blank, I don't remember, and he keeps going, meaning that that's the name of the song.
Right.
Wikipedia doesn't have the name of I Don't Remember on the list of songs that were on the album or left off this album. So it's a song that has disappeared somehow. And at this point on the disc, all the songs had been made and we're just doing a final mixing. So the final mixing hadn't quite happened yet. But the songs had all been recorded. So and I'll discuss more about that later with Yes, 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 like 5 years from now. What that means
is why, Tracy. That's going to be a long.
You must listen in to know that last bit, or just go buy the album. What that means is that this song, I Don't Remember, was renamed. And I think that the name of this song, I Don't Remember, most likely is the song we're talking about tonight, Have You Seen My Love?
Right.
Because it goes along with that whole idea that they're trying to portray here. So I think that this song was originally called I Don't Remember.
I would believe that. I think you're right on that.
So it's a really cool, but you can't find that anywhere. I just happened to catch that by hitting pause a number of times when they were doing the lists, and by listening to Steve and putting it all together. Right. So you'll only get that here.
Well, in the process too, I remember on the DVD when they were showing them get together. I think they were doing like a live jam on the DVD.
There is a section too where Steven, I guess Kevin hadn't shown up yet, and Steven's sitting there going, "Have you seen my keyboard player? Have you seen my keyboard player?" So there definitely was, this song was in the process in the circulation somewhere as a choice, but I can see that.
So it was first played in the Orpheum in Boston. So one more reason that I love this song a little bit. It was only played 16 times though. And it was mostly played during the Peep Show tour, which was the tour that they called this tour with this album, which is different.
Only time I've seen them live, actually.
Really?
Yes, the only time I've seen the Bare Naked Ladies live was during Peep Show.
Wow. And that's really cool because that's the only tour where they played the entire album in order right there throughout for its entirety. Yep. And then they played Yes, 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 which also was sort of on the album. It was discarded. We'll talk more about Yes, Yes, Yes when we get to it because that's a really cool, interesting choice about why they left that one off. And then they did a Q&A, and then they did some other songs. They've only played this song 5 other times since that tour.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah. This is a rare song for them.
Huh. I wonder why.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really odd. It's a beautiful song. Maybe
yes, it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's because Steve left not long after this tour, and so maybe that was the reason.
Yeah, maybe it was one of those songs that was a little more Steve than Ed. So that it's. I kind of feel like when they're playing music now, even though things are patched up and they're status quo, but I'm sure there's a part of Ed that wants to play the songs that are his, that are more Ed, and I kind of feel maybe this is a Steven song.
Mm. So when we get to it, this song is very stripped down, very basic. Yes. And one of the things that I wonder about with this song is whether or not this was recorded during the acoustic sessions. Because for this album, they did a whole acoustic set, which you can actually see the whole acoustic set being recorded on that special DVD with the deluxe set. Now, the acoustic set song is a little bit different than the one that is on the regular album in that Tyler plays a double time beat on the acoustic. And there's a couple of vocal variations that Steve gives with that recording. But I almost wonder if they did another take of it at that time, because it has that very acoustic sound with this song, even on the album version.
Yeah, this definitely has the feel of a very stripped down just kind of mellow acoustic guitar ballad
song. So I can see that. And I if I remember correctly, they do this in the acoustic set, don't they?
This definitely has the feel of a very, very mellow, stripped back, very bare bones acoustic song. And I was saying, I think if I remember, don't they do this in the acoustic set as well?
Yes. Yeah.
I thought so. Yeah.
And they don't do all of them. There are some songs that were left off the acoustic set, but this one was on.
Right. Yeah.
So while we're talking about the music, why don't we switch over to that discussion a little bit?
All right.
It's a very honest and very straightforward breakdown in terms of like who's playing what. We don't have Aaron here tonight. We don't have Aaron this week. He wasn't able to send us in his thoughts. But what I did look up on TuneBat is that the Have You Seen My Love is done in the key of C major, and it is done at a beats per minute of 122. So, and I don't have the acoustic version, like what things were at for the acoustic version.
Right.
Interesting enough, so you have the very straightforward, obviously Jim is on the double bass. If I remember correctly, I've researched a lot of songs this week. I believe on this one, he's actually playing the double bass with a bow.
Okay.
So that's another interesting difference. He does this every now and then, and it's actually really beautiful when he does that. And then we have Ron Anello, who is the producer of the album. On a couple of the songs on this album, he came in and played different instruments. On this song, he comes in briefly and plays a couple of notes on the banjo.
Photographs, you can see how we smiled.
Okay.
And then, of course, at the very end of the song, you hear Kevin's accordion being added into there as well.
Have you seen my love?
If people watch the acoustic version, on the acoustic version, Kevin is playing the acoustic guitar, but only the high notes that you hear. And Ed is doing the strumming of the acoustic for the general melody. You have Kevin on the higher notes, and then you have Ron Anello also on the acoustic during that as well. And then the other thing I have written down is that these are just beautiful, beautiful harmonies.
I became a man in your arms. I'm helpless as a child.
Oh yeah, that is this song's selling point, I think. I mean, the instruments are very bare. I mean, Tyler's on it too, I think, isn't he? Sounds like brushes.
Yep.
So there's some brushing going on, but the instrumentation is very minimal on this one. But this one was a harmony song. It's a vocal song. It's a lyrical song. But yeah, the harmonies on this one are fantastic.
And the bridge is very simple. Like it kind of strips down the chorus, and then it leaves some of the notes in, takes some of the notes out. So there's skipping notes in there. It just has a very, I don't know how to put it. It makes it sound slightly different, but at the same time interesting enough to kind of continue listening at that moment.
Right.
And I think the other thing that really happens here is that this is a big highlight of Steven's voice.
Oh, yeah, especially on the verses. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. If people wanted to really come to BNL for Steven, this is their song.
Yeah. Well, and I think, too, because the lyrics really sell it. When the song starts off, I mean, you think it's going to be a very simplistic song. I mean, it literally is "Have you seen my love" 3 times. Very, very simple chorus, and that's the only chorus in the song. But the lyrics definitely for Steven and for the band definitely really sell this one. And I think I like this one because
the twist, I guess you could say, or the trick really comes at the end of the second verse, where you realize that. You're thinking this is a song about a loved lost, essentially. I've lost my love. She's not here anymore. But I don't think that's what the song's about. I think this is more of a song about a couple who's just fallen apart.
Mm.
That line at the end there, like, did you bury the woman I love and fall asleep in her space? These 2 people are together. They've gone through the motions and I think he's kind of lamenting the life they had, and it just really works for this one.
Yeah, I agree. Like that's the take that I have. People had different takes on this song, kind of as we slip into the lyrical piece here. People had different takes on what this song kind of is about. Some people thought it was more about Alzheimer's, about the person like losing the memory, and so that's why they've lost that person. I don't get that feel. I get more of like the long lost love. Like here's people that were together since they were really little. They grew apart because they didn't put the effort into their relationship of growing with each other, or maybe they just never had much in common to begin with, but then they just kept growing further and further apart. They were in love, but just grew apart. I could see this song, I could see the narrator of this song laying down in bed and thinking this song in their head as they're looking at the person, realizing how far they've grown apart.
I like the idea of it being possibly, and
they've broached that. Steven's done songs from that perspective before, like Conventioneers, for example.
It's the perspective of an elderly couple, and I like the idea that maybe it's about Alzheimer's or an older couple. The only reason why I don't take that away from it is in the second verse with the dreaming was the first mistake. That line there kind of tells me, it really makes me think it's more about the relationship aspect. Like these two people, they were in love, they smiled, now I'm helpless. So I really get the sense from this song that it's just that, it's that couple that were so happy and everything was great at the beginning. And, years later, they're just going through the motions.
Yeah. There are some really beautiful, I think a lot of the lyrics in this song are really beautiful and they're very poetic, in that very miserable type way that Stephen has of writing lines. Where they're very...
He seems so happy, I don't get it.
They're very Dylan Thomas, like where I'm going to write beautiful lines that make you feel extremely depressed in hearing them.
Yeah. Which a lot of this album is like that, though, I think. A lot of everything, everyone feels that way. I mean, War on Drugs.
Celebrity.
Even the bouncier songs, like maybe Katie, there's kind of a double-edged sword to them.
So I kind of feel like this album is a little bit on the darker side, a little bit more negative overall. There's a biting edge to them, I think.
Yeah. I think one of the most beautiful lines in the song is, and I swear that's her face, did you bury the woman that I love and fall asleep in a place? Yeah. The one you mentioned earlier. Like, that's just... Mm-hmm. It paints such a very simplistic picture, but the melancholy in Steve's voice carries through so amazingly in that moment.
Yeah. Well, even, going back a line, that we share the same memories. I mean...
Like you said, I can see the song. They're in bed, and that feeling like, you've just gone through the day and
probably just done your own thing, and I feel like this person's just kind of looking at her going, that we had so many good times. This was so great, and it's that feeling of hopelessness. Like, can we get this back? Because do we have another choice? And I think that I really get that feeling from Steven on this one. That's just it's heart-wrenching.
And I don't want to say it's like you haven't been saying, nor have I, but I want to put it out there. I don't want to say that this is Steven. I think people could mistakenly say that, oh yeah, Steven's writing about his relationship with Caroline at this time with his wife. I don't want to take that and make that assumption. First of all, I think that there's enough in this song that paints it as a story song. And or at least maybe there's someone else in his life that he was watching someone else that this was happening to, and this is a story song about that person rather than it being about him personally. And there may be some of himself that he planted in there. But he's still at this point 4 years away from his separation from Caroline.
Right.
to say that they were at this point of the relationship 4 years before they were divorcing is a pretty negative aspect and perspective to take.
Yeah, and not to take anything away from artists, I know we always want to hear like, okay, this is a true story, this is what they were going through. But I know that as someone that writes songs, as someone that does music, I'm in a state now where I'm very happy. I'm happily married and things are going great.
But I have a song, I'm working on a song right now, which is about a breakup. It's about loss, and it's about feelings I had 10 years ago. Because we know people want to hear that. That's something that we're all suckers for the breakup song. That's 97% of music right there. Because it's something that we've all experienced at one time or another, and even when things are going good, those things hit us hard because that breakup that you had when you were 23 or 24 years old, there's still a part of you that feels that. And I think that, that's something about a song like this, is it doesn't have to be something that's happening to Steven right now. He could be pulling in from something in the past. And that doesn't take away from the song. It doesn't make it any less, painful or gorgeous. He's feeling something in this one because he's an artist and that's what he does.
If anything, I think that highlights him even more, that he can not have gone through this currently and be able to still put himself in that place. And for people that have gone through that, go, you know what? Yeah, that describes this absolutely perfectly. And people online that have responded to this song have said, yes, that describes me perfectly.
Right.
So for him to put himself in that place and do that is even more amazing.
Well, how many people can relate to the song? It's something that at one point or another, a lot of us have felt. That's he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's writing music that probably is for himself. He's exercising some demons. It's cathartic, but he's doing something that's going to sell. But I mean that is a big thing. I mean that's one thing about music, is he's doing something that's for himself, and it's probably exercising some demons, and it's cathartic. But musicians want to sell their music, and they're going to hit that nerve or that vein where it's going to trigger somebody, and that's what he's doing. He's doing it right in every way, and that's why I love the song. It's so simple on the surface. Like there's no bells or gadgets here. There's no whistles. There's no frills. It's just one of those that's like, okay, you're gonna carry me along, and you're gonna hit me in the feels, and he does it. It's great.
And I wish I could do that. Actually, I want to do that. I want to write this song.
I think one of the things that makes Steven's music really great is that he's not one-dimensional with the characters. It would be easy to just go with just the sadness for this song, and he does do just one person's perspective. But it would be easy to just go with the melancholy. But there's anger in there, there's regret in there, as well as sadness, as well as hope and some wistfulness in there as well. And he blends that all in together in these 4 very short verses.
Right.
I mean, we have in here that, all I want is to be your friend because you're the only friend I've ever known. Like, that is such a hard-hitting statement to say. Like, here's a person that, like, this person is a very lonely person.
Well, and I think that's, now that you mentioned that, I think that's, part of the power of this song, because I think this is a situation where he found this relationship, and it was the only friend he's ever known, and it became such a big deal. That person was his best friend. That person was his only friend. He didn't go out making other friends. He had no need to. And so when time wore down, whatever it wore down, because like you said, maybe they weren't, they didn't have anything in common, or they weren't meant to be together or whatever, now not only has he lost that person, he's got nowhere to go.
Yeah. That's a typical thing for males in relationships, is that they tend to let go of their friendships, their male friendships on the side, and then they end up having a lot less social support when divorces do come, and they're usually hit much harder for in divorce situations for that reason.
Right.
it's the other thing is like we're hearing codependency here.
Oh
But
yeah.
the other person has broken out of this and is no longer in there. This is kind of the sad version of Ben Folds' Erase Me.
Right.
Where the other person's pull away, and Ben Folds does the angry version.
Yeah.
This is Steven's sad version. But like the line, "All I need is our love," and we agreed that the two of us wouldn't be alone. Like, here is a very desperate person.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, and he's got that nostalgia going on too. I mean, he's looking at the old photographs, how he smiled. But even then, I mean, going off what you said, I became a man in your arms. You know, that's his whole self-worth is based on this relationship.
Yeah. And that leads me to think, like, not only have these two been together for a while, this is one of those, like, we've known each other since we were little kids types relationships.
Yeah, right.
And that might make the chorus line forgivable. We can get to the chorus line now if we want to, but at some point we're going to have to tackle that.
I don't know if we have to forgive it though. I agree.
So the line that we're let's put out there the line that we're talking about, because I know we're talking about the same thing, but like for the audience in case they've missed it, the chorus goes, "Have you seen my love? Have you seen my love? Have you seen my little girl? Have you seen my love?" That line creeps me out. To me, it is a line that I know it's meant as and I looked for the whole week to find the right word because I can't find the word. It's a salutation of love. It's a way of showing love, but unfortunately, it demeans the other person in the use of the language he's using.
But does it? Because, like you said, so here's my thought, and I'm a wordy writer. I tend to over word when I write. I tend to over lyricize. So simplistic choruses like this, first of all, you really have to sell it for me with the rest of the song, and they do. Just have you seen my love? Have you seen my love? Have you seen my love? So with this song, if what they were childhood friends, if what they were if that's the only friend he's ever had, and these were like high school or elementary school sweethearts, for example, I kind of feel like that makes the line work a little bit better. Like, where is that little girl that I first knew? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's. Yes, I can see where it would take somebody out. It would, make me wonder. Like, maybe it's not. Maybe it's talking about a daughter. Maybe it's just a weird line. But I think if he's so wrapped up in what he knew originally, he's thinking about that little girl that he first knew when he was a little boy.
Yeah. Well, I think that take is the only way that line works. Like, they have to have been like childhood friends,
right?
And that's what he's wrapping himself around, is this person that I knew so long ago, and that's who I fell in love with. But you're not that person anymore. This like person I knew as a child.
And it's a stretch, but I feel like that's kind of justified in the line about the photographs. In the faded old photographs, you can see how he smiled. These are old photographs. These are pictures of them as kids. I know that, like I said, that's kind of a stretch. Photographs can mean anything. They could be 3 years old or 4 years old or whatever. But, I feel like that's kind of where he's kind of selling that. Like, look at us as kids when we were so happy and everything was great. Now we're adults and we've grown apart and life sucks. And where is that childhood? Where is that childhood innocence? Where is that that friendship we had when we were younger? I kind of think that. I guess that line's never really hit me differently than that, which until you, Tracy.
I don't think it hit me as much until listening to it 20 times.
Right.
Certain lines start to like rear their heads a little bit more when you listen to them too much.
Right. Yeah.
But this, to be fair too, like there was always something about this song that kept me away from it, and I think it's that line of love that always made me kind of steer away. Like that, it distanced me just enough where I didn't quite I didn't quite connect to the song in a way that made me want to continue listening to it.
Right.
I think if he had used a different word there, then it may have rung differently for me.
Or not started with the chorus.
Yeah.
Not led with the chorus, because that's a weird choice for this song, I think.
Right. If it's not the song that the words that you have to say 3 times, like you keep coming back to. I do like the wordplay. Like he comes back to that, and he's like, I became a man in your arms, and now I'm helpless as a child. So this person that keeps saying, talking about her being a little girl, he's talking about himself now being helpless as a child. He's kind of returning back to that memory as well. So I did like that play on words that he was throwing in there as well.
Right, and I think that goes along. Like structurally, one thing that I would change about this song, like one big thing, is I don't think starting with the chorus was the best idea, because you want to sell that line, especially you want to sell that chorus, because I do feel like when the song starts, it starts weak. With just that, I would have preferred they started with the verses, and because the verses are really well written, they're very poignant, and they're where the song really hits, and then you can justify that simplistic chorus. You can justify that odd use of the phrase "little girl." So that would be one thing that I would have seen or have done different with this one.
Yeah, it's interesting, and that is a similarity with the thing that I found interesting with the theme of the music as well. I felt this song sounds a lot like the music in the album As You Like It. I'm not sure if you've listened to that entire album. Of course, we did the first year.
Yeah. No, I haven't listened to the whole thing, no.
and I've listened to it many times since. It is in my proper recordings that I listen to consistently in my playlist. This sounds very much like that, and it has. And one of the things I think that Shakespeare does a lot in the play As You Like It is he almost always starts off with the chorus as his to lead into the song that he's about to do.
Yeah, he does. And that's that whole flow of the iambic pentameter. That's a very Shakespearean thing to do. But I think that was, when Shakespeare was writing, he was writing from a very poetic standpoint, not a musical standpoint. Right. So I think that's where that might differ a little bit.
And the reason I bring that up is, one, they do As You Like It after this. But beforehand, they had already done a play. And I want to say it was St. Bartholomew's or Coriolanus. And it would have been probably about the time that they were recording this album that they might have been working on that as well. So I'm almost wondering if this has that influence in it, and that's why that kind of came out the way that it did.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that, spatial writing, you're writing something else, or you're doing another work, so that's going to carry over to whatever you're working on right now. That would make sense.
Now, if we ever get a chance to interview Stephen again, I would love to ask him the question, because I haven't gone back, and I am not a Shakespeare. I like Shakespeare. I am not a fluent buff of Shakespeare. I am no way a knowledgeable person around Shakespeare. I almost wonder if maybe one of the plays he was working on, he's like, you know what? I like this character. I'm going to write something about this character. And that's where this kind of came from.
Yeah, I can see that.
So now I have to go back and read all the works of Shakespeare. See if there are any that
I have actually. I don't know offhand of any. I actually have read the entire works of Shakespeare. I'm kind of a Shakespeare nerd. I will just pick up a play at random and just read through it, to freak out my friends. But a plot line where specifically that, nothing's coming to mind.
My guess is that if I were to do this, and now I've got myself a job to do by the end of this podcast, my guess is that it would probably be one of the supporting characters that he just loved, and he's like, there's no written music for this, I've got to do that. It's
like, probably the clown. It's always the clown.
It's gotta be
He loves the clowns.
Yeah.
He loves the sad clowns, I should say.
King Lear, Act 2, Canto 3, the clown, I believe, talks about this. Actually quotes this song, I think. Completely pulled that up. I don't...
If you end up being right, I would laugh.
It's a beautiful soliloquy. It's great, and I think Shakespeare plagiarized Stephen Page because it's so close.
All right, so I have a very serious question.
Much in the way that Shakespeare plagiarized West Side Story. All right, I'm done.
I have a really serious question for you.
Really?
I was talking about the playlist earlier and their choices and going about deciding what the order would be and which songs were going to stay on this.
Yes.
Tyler originally wanted Shopping to be the last song on this list.
He did.
This album. And he thought it would be great. It's a great, big, rolling kind of last song that leaves you with a good taste in your mouth.
Right.
Would you have chosen this song as the last song for Everything to Everyone? If you were the one that was organizing this album.
Would I have chosen this as the last song?
Yes.
No.
I mean, we could talk further about what we I
want to pick Shopping. Yeah, I want to pick Shopping either, but
no, I think honestly, I would have picked the one that they ended up and we'll come to this when we do our revaluation of the CD. I think I would have gone with what should have been the last one and ended up being on the deluxe disc the last one. I would have finished with Yes, Yes, Yes. Yes, that's our finish. And
I would have finished. I would have finished with Unfinished because why not?
Yeah. Well, and the fact that the last line is unfinished, and then you finish the album on the unfinished line
on the word unfinished. That's where I would go. Yeah.
Yeah. I love your idea. I don't like them finishing with this song. I don't. I feel like this is a middle of the disc song.
No. What was the one too? Good example. They Might Be Giants. On the Spine. They ended with the song. I can't remember what the last song on the Spine is, but that was another one. And I think when you're listening to an album and you're really into it, your album closure should be big. It's the end of the end of your musical. It's the end of your and that's not always the case, but I feel like this is a very anticlimactic song to end an album with.
It is. There are songs that you can get that away with. And, yeah. I mean, we're going to get to Hidden Sun actually in a few weeks. And the end of Maroon, you have the Tonight I Fell Asleep at the Wheel, which is
a great. I love that ending. I actually love that ending. Yeah.
And then you lead into it with Hidden Sun, which we'll get into more, but it has this feel of okay, this person's died and now they're looking down from above and you have this afterlife type feel. And that ends the album in a way that makes it, there's a reason that ends that album. It's almost like a person's life story has ended.
Right. And it's not a song you would expect. I mean, it's not, there's nothing against, ballads or breakup songs. Like I said, they're the bread and butter of music. But, they're ending a song that's very original. It's very out there. Wow, you're ending a song about it. Ending your album with a song literally about a guy that's died. In a car crash.
Right.
And in a very, because that's a very bombastic song with the circus feel and everything. What a way to end an album. When You Dream, another one, is a great way to end an album. This one just feels like it fizzles for a closer.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's a great song. It just doesn't feel right to finish. And maybe that's the other thing that always gave me a bad feeling about the song is I always turn it off after Take It Outside. That feels like the ending to me. So I don't know where I'm looking at the disc as it's in front of me, and I'm going, okay, where would I put Have You Seen My Love if I'm going to shuffle it back in? And luckily, before we do our reshuffle of the songs, I've got 5 more years to kind of figure that out. But yeah, that's a tough one. I don't know what I would have done with this song. Like, to me, this song might have become a B-side.
I would have kept it on the album. I think it's an album track, but it would have been somewhere in the middle. Maybe a break after testing or aluminum, something like that. But somewhere in the middle there, but not as an opener, not as a closer. That's not the song it is.
After aluminum would make a lot of sense. There's a song about like Ed's version kind of this person not being who they say they are.
Sure, yeah, right.
Other version of the same
take on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. That would work.
Right.
All right. Well, do you have any more thoughts that we haven't kind of covered?
No, I think that's it. I think we really analyzed this song, actually. Very, 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 very basic song and lyrically short, but yeah, yeah. No, I think we covered this one. I think we're good.
All right. So what I didn't cover tonight, and I only bring it up now for the reason I'm leading into here, is we didn't cover Sternberg's triangular theory of love. I was going to bring it up if we ran out of things to talk about, but basically like the idea that there's 9 different types of love. And 9 types, let me fix that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, that's not right. I know that's not right. There's 7
Which
types
Shakespeare
of love.
play was that in?
It wasn't. Sternberg basically said there's 7 different types of love. You have the triangle where you have the 3 different points. You have each of the different points in between, the different types that mix the different types, and then the ones that involve all 3. I'm not going to get into a lot of it here, but basically I was going to kind of talk about how this song kind of describes empty love, a relationship where it's just down to commitment now. There's no more intimacy. There's no more passion. Everything else has fallen to the side. The reason I bring this up now and cover it really quickly is the ratings for this week. The rating I'm going to have is how many different types of love would you give this song?
How many types of love? Out of 7?
Out of 7? Yeah, we can't do out of that because it'll really blow it. But out of 5. So out 0 to 5. Okay. How many types of love?
Okay, I'm gonna go. This is a weird one. I'm gonna go with the 3. To me, it's an average song. It's beautiful. Like, don't get me wrong, lyrically it's great, but I can't go much higher on that because of they've done so much better with the love songs, with the ballads, with the lyrical components. It's a great song, but it's not it's not an album closer. Like we said, I think structurally there could have been things done differently, so that the opening chorus wouldn't have seemed so confusing. Do I enjoy listening to it? Yes. Is it one that I'm saying to myself, I really want to listen to Bare Naked Ladies today? I'm going to go listen to Have You Seen My Love. That's probably not going to happen a whole lot. So I'm going to give this one 3 love languages.
3 love languages. I like the love languages better because there are 5 love languages. There are 5 love languages.
That's not. That must be. There were 5. Yeah, that must be. Yeah, that was what's in my head. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so we're going to go with that.
I'm going to give this 3 givers. Okay, love languages. I'm going to give this 3 givers. 3 words of affirmation, if you will. I've actually read the book. Can you tell?
I can tell. If people haven't read the book, it's actually a really good book. It's a really good way of looking at relationships and the way
really
people feel love and receive love. And when people don't give love in the way and receive love in the way that the other person gives and receives love, relationships fall apart.
Yeah, there's truth to it, because if you not only understand yourself but understand your partner, you can say, well, why is this working? This works for me. Well, that's the answer. What works for you might not work for them. And I think in that sense, it's really, really a good book.
Yes, people go out and read it. It is an amazing book.
Yes, definitely do it.
And it's a conversation with your partner.
Don't become Have You Seen My Love?
No.
Yeah.
And actually, it's a great
Don't
book to
become
not
the song
have
that we talked about.
become the song, because you
Right.
end up talking with your partner about how they receive love, so you can show love in the way that they can feel it, and then vice versa.
Right. This song
Right,
was
well-
probably the result of people not having that book.
So we've now turned to Dear Jeff. If you have advice or you need advice about your love, and you can, please send us emails. Jeff will answer any.
If you want to save your marriage, don't foam. don't write 14 songs in a month. My advice.
I think that's good for anyone. I don't know.
That's good for anybody. Yeah, I think
that's good just for basic sanity.
During our conversation tonight, my wife actually opened the door because I could tell she was going to bed and stuck a sticky note up there. I haven't read it yet. It's a note or something, and she just kind of said goodnight. So we'll have to go check that out. But we'll see what that says. Probably says, "Have you seen my love?" Actually.
If that is the message, I totally want to know that, because that is great. Your wife has the best sense of humor in the world.
Oh, he's doing another interview with that podcast.
All right, well, I should probably give my ideas here, my thoughts.
Yeah, you should.
No, because I've been sitting here scrolling up and down, and my original number that I gave for this song, I don't like. This song is really hard for me to rate. It's a beautifully written song. It's a beautiful song with the harmonies. That one lyric really tears me out of the song. And I feel like I have post hoc gone back and rewritten what this song is about in order to accommodate that one lyric. But I do like that lyric with that storyline, so I can almost accept it when that's there.
Right.
It really does a great job of exploring the story idea from one side in this wonderfully very short period of time. It's also not a song I come back to extremely often. I skip the end of this album, and I'm sorry, Steve. It's a beautiful song. I skip it. But very much also, I skip the flag. So, and I gave that a 5.
Wait,
so
what? What?
I skip it just because that's a song that will depress me every time I listen to it.
I can't. I'd have to turn it off right before, because once it starts, I'm listening. Like, that's how much I love the flag. Like, once that song starts, I'm stuck. Cancel plans. But
don't.
We're listening.
Kids,
we're listening to the bloody end of this thing.
Kids, stop crying in the back seat. We're listening to this song.
We're listening to this depressing song about a subject you shouldn't know about.
Especially once they get old enough to realize, Daddy, what is that? What I think is happening? No.
Anyway, now let's switch over. Listen to Steve sing about alcohol. Come on.
Or we'll switch to this. Dad, is he singing about people that have fallen out? Are you saying you don't love mommy anymore? No. Oh my goodness, I'm scarring my child.
Oh, I didn't realize how traumatizing the Bare Naked Ladies were. Jeez. I'll pep you up, kids, and we'll listen to some more on drugs.
Yeah, that's when I skip in the car with the kids all the time.
Yeah, right.
That one does not come up.
No.
I'm looking down through my scores, though, and I really do enjoy this song. I mean, it's not a break your heart. It's nowhere near break your heart. It's definitely nowhere near flag.
Right.
But I enjoy it. I've been giving this score out a lot lately, but I think it's still... I think it's there. I'm going to go with a 3.5.
Okay.
I originally was going to go with a 2.5, but I don't feel right with that. So it's a 3.5.
You upped it a little bit. Okay, so.
I had to.
So it would be a solid 3.5 if he hadn't said the words "little girl." Is what?
Oh, it would probably be up around a 4 if he hadn't said "little girl."
All right.
That word really takes me out of it. but I can accept it if they have childhood friends like that.
Have you seen my love? Have you seen my love? Have you seen
my little pedophile?
No, that would be a negative. I was gonna say toilet paper.
Okay. I don't know where to go with that one.
Because what truer sign? I mean, that's married life right there. I mean, 75% of married life is yelling out of a bathroom door to your wife, "Where's the toilet paper?" That's
especially if the chocolate Kraken's around.
Well, especially yes, absolutely. Yeah.
I had to bring that around.
Hey, no problem with that. So the song that most people bring up at work, like, have you heard Jeff's Chocolate Kraken song? I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this. We're at work, but
So appearances. I should probably wrap this up.
Okay.
Appearances. I do want to put in, and I will put in the liner notes, a appearance from when they played this the last time they played it live in Dublin, Ireland. It's not extremely special, but it is kind of cool about it being their last time that they ever played it. So you can listen to that. The audio is not great. Someone did record it off their phone. I apologize in advance. Then the real appearance that I have in here, because I don't want to just put in them playing these songs live. Like, there's a million and one of those. I want you guys to go out and see something you haven't seen before. Around this time when they were touring, doing the Peep Show, they did an appearance and a recorded appearance while in New York City for Real Magic TV. It's Steven, Ed, and Jim, and this magician does a magic trick with them involved. There's a lot of banter, which is the fun part. Like, the magic trick isn't anything where I'm like, woo, I've never seen that done before. But them bantering and with the magician and having fun, that I love.
Also, he magically removes the words "little girl" from "Have You Seen My Love."
That would be a magic
Tracy
trick.
Happy.
He removes them from my mind. I never heard them.
All was well with the world.
Jeff, where can people follow you? Where can people find you?
Hey, so you can find me at my YouTube channel, Jeff Whitmire 47. It's been a little sluggish lately, but that's because I've been over at the farm. Oh, I don't have an address for you there.
No, that's pronounced farm.
It's pronounced farm. I've been over at the farm. No, I've been filming, which is a challenge to try and write 14 new songs in the month of February. So that's been sapping my lifeblood and soul and energy. But when I'm done, I plan on putting the demos up on my Bandcamp page, which is Bandcamp, jeffwhitmire.bandcamp.com. So you can find it over there, and then hopefully I will eventually, make polished studio versions of those songs with the producer. So look out for that.
In the meantime, where can people find these works that you're putting up and playing? Like, for example, Narwhal in My Underwear.
Narwhal in My Underwear, which is the song that I posted last night. There are currently 9 songs on the FOM, and I'll get that URL for you. But definitely check it out, because I've been trying a lot of different things. It hasn't all been comedy music. I've been putting some serious stuff up there. I've been putting some sappy stuff. In fact, my next song is going to be a very where Have You Seen My Love kind of song, without the mention of little girls.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I may love your song more than this song already.
So it's FOM.org, and it's Jeff Whitmire 47 is where you want to search for that.
Now, FOM is FAWM, is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, it's FAWM.org. This URL doesn't look like it's a URL to my exact page, but if you go there and search Jeff Whitmire 47, you'll find the stuff that I've been posting up there. There's 9 songs. Hoping to have all 14 and a half done by this weekend, if all goes well. But yeah, the last song was Narwhal in My Underwear, which is a hardcore rap Beastie Boys song about stealing fish from an aquarium.
It It really is a lot of fun. I enjoyed that a lot.
Lyrically is one of my favorite things I've done in a while. There's lines in there that I'm really proud of, actually.
You should.
But I did one. I did Ode to Working Mothers, which is we had to write a song from the perspective of an inanimate object. So I did a song about a tribute to working mothers. I did a song about my child mentioned that she wanted to be a ballerina paleontologist when she grew up. So I wrote a song about that. But yeah, just a lot of stuff. We had to do a song where we tied in a fairy tale. So I used This Old Man and I turned it into a story of an Iraq war veteran. So just a lot of different stuff that I've been trying out and doing there. And then, definitely check it out and let me know what you think.
And don't go to jeffwhitmire.com. That is not correct. That is a politician's website.
It's a politician named Jeff.
It is. We will put up the correct one on our liner notes for this episode, of course. I definitely go out and listen to all the FALM entries. And you can also follow us
almost every day right now. So
you can also follow us and join the discussion over at Facebook at BNL Podcast and Twitter at Bare Naked ABCs. You can also join us for a discussion over at bowlingstormtrooperentertainment.com. And people have done that a number of times. Nothing to put in new this week. We do have, let's see if I can pull this up here. We have a really interesting iTunes review. And I want to tackle this iTunes review from right off the bat after I've seen it. It was done a while ago, but I'm kind of curious about this person. I want them to write in. I want to know. So you can write into us at barenakedabcs@gmail.com. I want to start a discussion. I want more information. I'm going to hold on 1 second because I got to find it. By the way, while you're waiting over at Bare Naked ABCs and looking us up and hopefully giving us an iTunes review, we would love to have iTunes reviews. We are lower on the list when you search for Bare Naked Ladies. So please go in, give us an iTunes review, give us a star. That would be wonderful. Actually, giving us 5 stars would be amazing. So the one that I'm talking about right here is Lorne, and it's spelled L0RN. He says, or she says, and this was back in November of last year, so I clicked on this because I'm a BNL fan, only to find out the podcast is by 2 guys who know nothing about the band, and then start talking by insulting the first song from the get-go. I don't see what this brings to the table. Lauren, are you sure that you're reviewing the right podcast? Usually it's more than 2 guys. Like, it's very rarely that's 2 guys.
Did she click on another postcard? Is that the problem?
I don't know. Like, I was even pretty positive about that one. And Michelle was there during that one. All I can think of is I think that Lauren clicked on the other BNL podcast, It's All Been Done, and then for some reason gave the iTunes review to us. Because they are proud of being the Know Nothing podcast who likes to lampoon and have fun with the songs. And that totally would make sense. So I want to hear from you, Lauren. Write to us. I want to hear more. Did you actually listen to us? And which episode? I want to know which one we really was that negative on the song. Wow. Anyone else that has any thoughts, positive or negative, please write in. Definitely give us an iTunes review. And we look forward to talking to you more. This is me vamping while I switch windows again. Because I need to figure out where I'm going here.
Never gonna give you up. I'm never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around it. Sorry.
Man, this is going to take forever. Like, some things like happen really, really quickly, and like other things like take a long time. Like, for me, for example, and my wife would kill me for saying this, like, it took us forever to have our baby. Like,
oh, us too. It was it was long. We went in on Monday or Sunday night, and I think it was Wednesday.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, like my wife was in labor for like 27 hours. It seemed to go on forever. Like, having a baby is exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the male saying that. I can't even imagine for my poor wife. So
did you pick 27 because that's the weirdo number? Is that
no? That was
official. Oh,
that was actually true. Yeah, 27 hours. So my son loves Weird Al too. So he must have known from like early on.
I think so. Yeah. By the way, I did get the note from the door, and it says, "I really love the little girl line, and have you seen my love?" I'm just kidding. Just kidding. No, that's not what it says. Yeah.
So that leads me back to join us next week for Have You Seen My... Or, wait, no, that's not right. Oh, what was I thinking? Oh, Having a Baby. And if you haven't heard that song before, that's because it's a deep dive. So enjoy us. We're going to come back with some scuba gear on for this really deep dive next week of the song Having a Baby. Jeff, thank you so much for joining us this week.
Yes, not a problem. Thank you.
And everyone else, have a good week, and thanks.
Have a good night, everyone.
Oh, have you seen my love?
First step is admitting. That's normal.
All right, now I can hear myself, or I can't hear myself, but I can, in fact, see it on the waveform. That's exactly the way I want it. Perfect.
Okay, I'm seeing two of you, which is a lot.
You are. Let me see.
I have two camera angles.
I apologize for me.
I mean, it's fine. Camera one, camera two.
It's like that Multiplicity movie. But the question is, which one of me is the lesser of the two? If I only had...
Oh, sorry. It's stuck in my damn head.
You know that's going on now.
Oh my god.
And this...
Well, I listened to Rick Astley for about 30 minutes.
And a baby song for some reason to calm us down from hearing Rick Astley.
To celebrate joining Pantheon Podcasts, Rock Camp, the podcast, the official podcast of Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp, is giving away a guitar signed by Mike Portnoy of Dream Theater, Marty Friedman, formerly of Megadeth, and legendary shredder Zakk Wylde, plus our rockstar counselors like Vinny Appice, Monty Pittman, and more. To enter to win, simply follow, rate, and review our podcast on your preferred platform, and that's all you have to do. For more information, go to rockcamp.com/podcast.